Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is Beyond Time. I'm really excited to talk about this today and how we can move beyond time to access healing capabilities that might not otherwise be accessible. In other words, we get to do the quantum healing thing. And I think it should be a really fun conversation. But before we get started, hey, Rosalind, good morning. Good morning. It's great to be here with you. We're talking about beyond time today. In other words, quantum healing. But before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells and your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, all your molecules, all your electrons, and creating this brilliant beam of light from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together. Rub those hands together vigorously to feel all that friction, temperature, all those sensations, the tickling, the tingling, and allow yourselves to become present to all those sensations right here, right now, in this remarkable physical form that enables you to experience life. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Isabel. Welcome. Great to have you here with us this morning. I'm really excited to have this conversation because I had a really, really cool session with a client yesterday, and it kind of took things into another dimension that I'm just really excited to share with you. So this person has had a lifelong struggle with anxiety. Good morning, April. Welcome. So good to have you here with us this morning. We're talking about beyond time and how we can move beyond time to access healing capabilities that we didn't even know we had, and really to access choices. So this was an amazing thing. I've had the privilege of working with this person for quite some time. And they've had a lifelong battle with anxiety, like extreme crippling anxiety. And we've made incredible progress, and it's been really, really rewarding and wonderful. And yesterday we had such a breakthrough, and it was magical. It was really, really magical. So I want to share it because it's kind of like off the chart. So what we were addressing is this cycle of anxiety and what actually happens in the course of a stimulator or a stimulus, and then the anxiety response. So there's the input, and then there's something that happens, and then there's an anxiety response. And so what we got to do was to look really carefully at what is the strategy that was creating this response. So there was a stimulus like seeing an email, and then initially the person said what showed up immediately was this anxiety. And I said, I don't think so. Something's happening before the anxiety. And as they tuned in, they said, well, it's like there's this white light, like this blank slate and there's this bright light that's so bright that I can't really see what's there. And as we got more present to it, it turned out that it was not so much a white light as it was a kaleidoscope of choices that were just flying by super, super fast. So it was kind of hard to distinguish what those choices were. You know, like all these different options just flying around. And so in this realm, we said, okay, well, what happens if you slow down time? If you slow down the kaleidoscope? And then when the kaleidoscope was slowed down, it was possible to recognize some of these, well, it was possible to recognize all of these choices, you know, that there were all these different choices. And in that recognition, what was so awesome is that there were choices that would create anxiety, and there were choices that were about adventure and excitement. Now, this is such a cool thing, because here's somebody who has had a lifelong pattern of anxiety, and that the choices made were always choices around, you know, like an anxiety response, right? And so now they had access to these other options. And it was amazing to see that they had access to these other options. And what we recognized is that this was an existential choice, meaning this choice shapes the quality of existence. This choice shapes the beingness that this person experienced, right? So then as we delve more deeply into this dynamic, we discovered that, they discovered that when they tried to make a choice for the excitement and adventure, that there was this pull toward the anxiety, because it had more weight. It was kind of at the bottom of this whole dynamic. Like it had weight and it had a pull to it. So we were talking about gravity. And then came the revelation that gravity is a function of time. Because gravity is something that, like, if there's a pull, if there's some kind of force, the only way that force can exist is if there's time over which it can exert itself, right? So how fun is this, right? Well, you're getting to see what a nerd I am. Anyway, so then we said, okay, well, what happens if you're able to just stop time then when the adventure and excitement opportunities are there? So you can have one of those opportunities, hold that opportunity. And then with time stopped, there's no gravity to pull down into the heaviness of the anxiety. And it was such a remarkable thing. I have been intending to get to this place ultimately where this person could recognize that they really truly were choosing, that this anxiety response was something they were choosing, and in recognizing that it was something they were choosing, they had the opportunity to choose something different. And so this was amazing. It was amazing. And they looked at, seeing this existential choice, they were able to recognize all the times in their life when they had chosen anxiety, and all the time, all of this life experience that they, these other choices were actually available, but they didn't see them because the choices had gone by so fast, and the pattern of anxiety was so deeply entrenched that they hadn't even been aware that there was a choice. And that in itself was a very weighty revelation, which, as painful as it was further impetus and further incentive to be able to choose the adventure and excitement, right? Like a deeper reinforcement of, hey, let's not waste any more time with this this anxiety stuff. And so it was so powerful and rewarding to me to see what we could do here, that we have in our minds, in our beings, when we have these constructs, we have the opportunity to manipulate the universe, right? To manipulate the laws of the universe, so to speak. We can speed up time, we can stop time, we can slow down time, we can reverse time, in our capacity for conceptualization. And we can use those capabilities to radically transform our lived experience and shift our perspective. And so I don't know if you get the excitement around this. Like it was such a powerful breakthrough. So April says the time and gravity thing is really awesome. What a game changer to think about it like that. Love it. Thank you, April. Yeah, exactly. Like gravity only exists in time. Weight only exists in time, because otherwise it's just this like, what is weight? Weight is relative, right? Weight is relative to time too, or relative to comparison with other things. So, what was awesome was that by stopping time, the pull of this thing was stopped, gravity was stopped, weight was stopped. It was just the coolest revelation, and gave me such a much deeper understanding of like the forces of the universe, and how the construct of time is what is literally animating everything, right? So when we animate the universe, then we have things like gravity and force and weight and all these other things. But without time, we're able to transcend that stuff, which is it was just the coolest revelation all the way around. And it was like, this person really recognized that this was an existential, meaning relating to existence, relating to the quality of life, that this was an existential revelation This was an existential opportunity and choice to radically transform their beingness in life and their inclinations and their context, and thereby transform the quality of life for whatever time they have left. So how amazing is that, right? And the fact is that because they have such a history of making these other choices, they were able to be present to the pain of that and the loss of that and the impact of that, which all serve to be motivators to be able to make this choice for the excitement and adventure. Like that in the way they described it was this kaleidoscope, and it was moving by so quickly that they didn't even see that there were these other choices. They slowed down the kaleidoscope, and then these other choices made themselves apparent. And with these other choices, so Jenny, part of your message came through, and welcome. It's good to have you here, but we didn't get the whole message. And by the way, anybody, if you guys are writing comments and I'm not responding, it's because I don't see them. So you can go to the Enlightened World Network Facebook page or YouTube channel, and you can put your comments in there. And Jenny says, I can't get the chat to something, lulbip, and says the chat's not working so well. I'm sorry, Jenny. Yeah, try on Facebook. Maybe that'll be better. Anyway, so I just am so excited about this because I know that we're masters of the universe. You know, I know that we create our experience. And this session just made vividly clear how we can manipulate our, at the very least, our conceptualization of the world and of our experience in such a way that we can radically expand our capacity. Like, I've been working with this person for a long time to get to this place where they could see, and they did see vividly, that they are at choice, and that they were just making the choices that they made out of pattern and the pull of it, you know, the weight of it that had been cultivated over the course of a lifetime. So it was just, okay, so Jenny says Facebook is not working. It's just a black space. That's so weird. So weird. Technical difficulties. Well, you overcame it, Jenny, because you're here through YouTube. So thank you. I'm really delighted that you're here with us. So the thing that we also get to look at, besides the laws of physics or quantum healing, is it's coming through on YouTube, Jenny. So you're doing fine. Try chatting through YouTube. It seems to be coming through okay now. Anyway, the thing that we get to see in this is that our mental constructs shape our reality. And that's a really big thing to be aware of, you know, because we don't necessarily pay attention to our mental constructs, to the contexts that we create for the way that we perceive the world. And when we have an ability, when we have a capability to go in and actually act on those constructs. So Jenny says healing trauma changes patterns. Exactly. And changing patterns heals trauma, because trauma becomes a pattern. That's such, so in this person's case, the anxiety was a pattern, and it was a source of trauma, and it was sourced in trauma. So, when trauma in a way begets trauma, we become habituated to the actual biological chemicals that get created around trauma. We become habituated to these chemicals. It's like an addiction. It's not conscious. It's not something that we're talking about blaming or anything like that. It's a physiological thing that happens. Jenny says yes, and release it from being stored in the body. Exactly. So the thing is that when we can reshape the neural pathways, or reshape the cognitive, under the surface cognitive or subcognitive process that is creating these patterns, when we can shift that dynamic, the whole experience changes. This is why when we're really depressed, or when we're in anxiety, if we can change our state, if we can find something that makes us happy, what's happening is we're creating a new set of signals, we're creating a new set of chemicals, and we're creating the potential for a new pattern. So this idea of gratitude is releasing a whole bunch of different chemicals in your body than anxiety is, or fear, or anger, right? So moving into, like, it may seem airy-fairy to say, just shift your state into, and it's not always easy either, and I recognize that, but shift your state into a state of gratitude, or appreciation, or love, or for me, I know I've said this before, but the pathway for me is through beauty. When I can appreciate beauty, when I can be present to beauty, it inspires awe and wonder and appreciation, and these elevated emotions. It's repatterning, really, truly, literally. And so when we have these habits of depression, or of trauma, or of anxiety, or of anger, when we have these patterns, shifting to another state is part of shifting that pattern, and it is a physiological thing. Jenny says the body speaks with your frequency, you giving out to the world. Exactly. So, it's the energy of anger is very different from the energy of awe. The presence that one has in the face of anger is very different from the presence one has in the face of beauty. It's just radically different frequency, different energy, different chemicals, different thoughts, different physiology. Our muscles and our body's going to be expressing, going to look different if we're angry than if we're in awe. So Jenny says that frequency attracts your reality and people that are of like frequency. Yes, exactly. And opportunities. And so being in this place of of appreciation, and everything is okay, even if the circumstances in the world don't look like it's okay. To be in this state of it's okay, I'm okay, it is going to be attracting very different circumstances and opportunities than I'm afraid and it's a dangerous world. It's just gonna, it's just how it works. So that's it for this morning, but I just invite you to step into the quantum dimension to find new possibilities, new choices. Slow down time if you need to. So April says capability, putting on the cape and being our own hero. I love it, April. That's beautiful. Sometimes we hide in the cape, sometimes we fly. That's so beautiful, April. And Jenny says trauma is stored in the fascia, like makes the shoulders tight. Exactly. It's true. Anyway, guys, I love you and I am so grateful for this time together. And I hope that you can get the excitement and the potential available in this way of thinking and take it forward into your own life. So much love to you. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection. I go live here on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I encourage you to check out the other awesome programming on Enlightened World Network, EWN One with the Earth, Enlightened World Living. And until next time, so much love to you and deep appreciation. Have a